basically they called me mentally unstable because I lost my mom on March 8th of 2020, so just a little less than a year ago. They've been targeting my anxiety, my depression, my husband's anxiety and depression.
How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. I have a guest tonight. It is Connie from Tennessee. She has joined us answering questions. And Connie, I know it is super late back there, and I know you wanted to say goodnight, but I did want to tell all of the listeners that you will be interviewed hopefully soon on my show, The Horror Stories. And I know you wanted to say goodnight to everybody, so I wanted to thank you so much for coming on and helping us answer these questions, and I know all of our listeners are super appreciative.
Yes, Connie, I want to thank you too, Connie. But before you get off the line, give us your contact information, your email address, your office number, your website. So if I'm a parent back in Tennessee or Ohio or in that area and I want a kick-butt attorney, how do I get in touch with Connie?
Yeah, well, thank you. And there's a couple things for people just to stay up with what I've got going on and watching what's going on. Through Facebook, I have a group and a page called Family Forward Project. I also have a Family Forward Project set up for several different states. I don't have one for every state, but we do put a lot of postings on there, a lot of news. I do a lot of live broadcasts. My live broadcasts are under the announcements on our Family Forward Project group, as well as I just put them up on, I have probably 100 videos up on YouTube under my name, Connie Reguli, Reguli. My office is in Tennessee. It is the Law Care Family Law Center of 615-661-0122. And that if you want to do a consult, even if you're not within the state of Tennessee, I will do a consult at a reduced rate. Sometimes, and I have people call me from different states. They just want to spend an hour on the phone, and we can just kind of talk a little bit more like we did now and kind of give them some direction, whether it's dealing with a narcissist or whether it's, looking at getting more time or suspending termination of parental rights. And I have found with parents going through this situation, sometimes just on the other side of the phone, a firm and confident voice is enough to give them encouragement, just like our young mom from Montana that was talking about being through the foster care system and losing her children. I could tell by the tone of her voice that she's trying to be strong, but the longer she talked about it, her voice was getting weaker. So give that kind of strength to a lot of people, and one of my dominant guests is advocacy and encouragement. So we've got to bust this system. We've got to expose it. I want to thank everybody for telling their story. And I know somebody else talked about being retaliated against. I am personally being retaliated against because I have had to share their story. I want to be loud and clear about that because a lot of people who say that their attorneys don't help them. They won't help them expose what's going on. I'm going through a third time where they're trying to impudiate my license to practice law because I've taken parents out and helped them expose the truth. So we have got to be vigilant. We've got to support each other. We've got to stay on track, and we have got to continue to do things like this show. So thank you all very much for doing this program.
All righty, Connie. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, and good night.
Good night.
Good night. Hey, Vince, we have another caller if you are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, Erica from Indiana.
Hi.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Dr. Connie.
I'm so sorry.
I was hoping to talk to Connie because I'm just north of her, but that's okay.
Well, she mentioned...
Well, if you pay attention...
She mentioned... hold on a second, Erica. She mentioned how you can get in contact with her, right?
Yes, I wrote down her number.
Perfect.
So yes.
And she's all over social media, so just type in her name, and I'm sure you'll find her Facebook pages.
Oh, I've been following you and her like no other.
Very good.
So, but I've been trying to get a hold of you like crazy too.
Pay attention to the horror stories on Facebook and YouTube, because we will announce when she'll be interviewed on there, and you can participate and ask her questions there as well.
So,
yeah.
Erica,
those make me cry.
Did you have a question or a story you wanted to share with the audience?
Slightly both. I'll be very short and not so much sweet, but with our story. We had a little girl not long ago. We have 2 dogs, and he had one of our dogs knocked her out of her bouncer seat, and the metal mobile bar had fractured her nose when he knocked her out, and we had taken her to the hospital, and they removed her there. I asked for the warrant removal, and I was denied access to see that, and it wasn't until about 10, 11 o'clock I put my foot down on where she was going. And she is in kinship placement with a very trusted friend of mine. But it has been a horror story since. So basically, everything we've been trying to do, they called me mentally unstable because I lost my mom on March 8th of 2020, so just a little less than a year ago. They've been targeting my anxiety, my depression, my husband's anxiety and depression, my postpartum mostly. I have been working like crazy. I have read their 1,175-page policy book. Our lawyer, we fired our court-appointed lawyer. We hired another lawyer, and he's just dragging his feet, acting like a dog with his tail between his legs. And just everything's been going downhill. They're now trying to add on allegations of domestic violence. They've intruded on our privacy rights, civil rights, especially the CASA, and they're trying to utilize old work records against us. They have even used the fact that we moved to a different county against us, where I have figured out that it's crossed jurisdiction lines. They're wanting drug tests on us. She was taken away at 6 weeks, and she's now going on 7 months. It's just turning into a horror story, and we've used every penny trying to get this new lawyer, and he's not doing nothing, and we're begging for help to get a new lawyer that will help us get our daughter back, because both my parents are gone, and she's about all the family I have, because I almost died 4 times trying to bring her into this world.
Wow. Cynthia, and we've started a new website. I don't know if we have anybody in Indiana yet. Have you visited that website, CPS Attorney Rolodex? AttorneyRolodex.com?
No, I have not.
So go to CPSAttorneyRolodex.com and see if we have anybody yet. The website was just launched, so it's filling up with lawyers slowly. But the other thing you can do is you can go to your local bar association, and most bar associations have a free or low-cost lawyer referral service. And for, $25 or $50, you can actually go and interview with a lawyer, sometimes for free, and figure out if he or she is, going to be able to help you and help your case.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what one of the things I would suggest.
Actually, I had seen one of your YouTube videos that you had posted just, I believe, yesterday, of how a lady hired an attorney with no money. And a lot of the information in that video I have already done. And I am willing to do whatever it takes to get a lawyer.
How many calls have you made?
I have called at least 17 lawyers.
Well, a
lot of them have told me.
The lady in that video called over 50.
A lot of our lawyers will not work with the judge that we have because his ego is far too big.
Okay, we don't want to mention any names, but I understand.
I'm not going to mention names.
I understand, but you got to find somebody. You got to keep letting your fingers do the walking. You know, Google is such a sophisticated tool. You should be able to find someone that's going to be able to help you.
Because that's how I found you.
Okay. Well, I'm in California, in Los Angeles County. For me to come back to Indiana, just the traveling, would be expensive. You got to keep calling. You got to don't give up. You will find someone, okay?
Okay. 'Cause
every state has slightly different laws. I mean, generally they're probably all the same, but they're slightly different in some important areas. You're better off with an attorney from Indiana. Now, people ask me, "Hey, can you come do my case? I'm in, Washington or Oregon. I'm doing a case right now in Oregon. I can get special permission to come to another state to do the case, but it's so expensive. Don't hire me from another state until you've called at least 50 lawyers and they've all told you no." Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Erica, I want to thank you for calling. Call us back in 3 or 4 weeks. Let us know what's going on with your case. A little update. And we're going to take another break right now. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. I'm attorney Vince Davis with Cynthia Becker, and we'll be taking more calls, more questions, and more stories. Stay tuned.